9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Monday, everybody. Certainly, if your name's David de Gea, Lisandro Martinez, Diogo Dalot, Erik, every single one of those Manchester United players yesterday. How are we all doing? Man United 1-0 winners against West Ham at the weekend. Liverpool, oh, dearie me, Liverpool lost. Chelsea got spanked. United are on the march. And we're here to discuss David de Gea. We're here to have full match reaction to yesterday. We're here to talk about, as I said, de Gea. I'm going to speak about Dalot. Going to speak about Ten Hag's reaction to the game, his comments. Also, his comments about he wants another right back. And we know we need another right back. Diogo Dalot has been, I would say, he could arguably be Manchester. No, I mean, I don't think he's Man United's player of the season so far because, let's be honest, we know it's Lisandro Martinez. Sorry. T-shirt sitting a bit sticky. Pull that up there. Pull that up there. Oh, yeah, look. I'll speak about that. I'm enjoying watching United at the moment. Just let me enjoy it. Well, we're allowed to enjoy it, right? Who's down here in the comments? Stephen, I can see you watching the whole way from Thailand. Good morning to you, James. Norfolk and good. Yes, big fan. Big fan of that name. Matt Richard, how you doing, buddy? Watching from Virginia Beach. Stuart, we've got DJ. We've got Josh, I can see there. And I can see you there as well. Paula. Salim, I can see you too. T, I think I saw your name earlier. Woo. Lots of us down here in the comments. And I tell you what, everyone's going to have a big old smile on my face. On my face? Everyone's going to have a big old smile on their face. Because that was a really enjoyable game of... Actually, it wasn't the most enjoyable game of football. We'll speak about the second half, and Ten Hag focuses on that. But watching, you know, I think we've done this a few times this season. One sec, I've got to get this in the comments. Obviously, there's tons of people here who don't know. Logic, I'll say it to you, I'll say it to anybody else. The clocks went back in the UK at the weekend. It's called daylight savings time. There is no difference in time. It is 9:35. Right now, I'm absolutely bang on time. It's just because the clocks in the UK went back. So anybody who's getting annoyed in the comments, you just didn't realise. But yeah, to see United playing like that, I think it's... Well, the Leicester, Southampton were two that I really remember. I'm sure they can... 5 clean sheets in the last 6 games, by the way. Only goal we've conceded is away at Stamford Bridge in the 88th minute. In the last 6 games. That is a superb run of form. And yeah, seeing us like hold out 1-0 wins, it is a different vibe. Ian there with a comment saying, congratulations to England's physical disability rugby league team for winning the World Cup in Warrington last night. More good sporting news. Look at that, Matt. Good sporting news all around Manchester this weekend. Big up to those lads. Or ladies. I did read it out there. Don't worry about that. I don't miss anything. I just have a conversation. When I'm mid-flow, if anybody's sending a super chat, I always spot it and I go back to it. Don't worry, ladies and gents. I don't miss them. But look, that was a cracking win yesterday. I wouldn't say it was a cracking overall performance, right? Because, well, it wasn't. The second half, we invited West Ham onto us. We lost our ability to control the game. Quite a lot of passes were going astray, like simple passes. I'm like, how are you messing that up? Everyone was getting a little bit too eager, I think. But I tell you what, how fantastic was that goal from Marcus Rashford? That was prime Ronaldo header, that was. Rashford had no right to get there ahead of the right back? But he saw the ball, saw the run, and because of the power he put into the run, because of the leap, because of the intent, he got the ball. He got the ball. He got the header, an absolute stonking header. 2 goals in 2 games, 2 absolutely fantastic headers. Genuinely world-class headers, both of them. And I didn't really think that Rashford had that in his locker. It's fantastic to see. Rashid, you're saying down here, more crosses into the box leads to goals to a certain degree, unless your name's David Moyes and we had 89 crosses against Fulham. It's not just about crossing into the box. It's crossing with intent. It's everything with intent. Everything, as long as it's got a purpose, needs to be done. Don't just fire a cross into the box if no one's going to be in there to make the run for it. And that's something, I'll be honest, that we haven't had much this season. Rashford, I think, has absolutely... He's been knuckling down all season. He went into the preseason and he had a personal trainer before the preseason started, and he keeps working and working and working. He's coming through a rough patch now, and that was the difference yesterday. When you've got a defense that's playing as good as our defense is at the moment, you only need one goal to win, and we got that. And it was, Daz, you're spot on there when you're saying this. It's down to the aggression and intent. It depends how you want to sort of package it up. I think they're one of the same. The intent for him was to get to that ball. And the aggression from him was, it doesn't really matter who's in the way of it. I'm getting that ball. And that's exactly what he did there. Bruno, watching the whole way from Namibia, I can see you there. Stephen, don't you worry about that. That's coming up that's coming up later in the show. Beast mode activated, says T. Stephen, you're saying, I've not seen Rashford attack the ball so aggressively before. Yeah, I don't. It's something that we haven't seen too much of. And long may it continue. And I tell you what, Rashford, you know how we spoke about Jadon Sancho and said the World Cup's coming up. Maybe Jadon Sancho is going to use these few weeks as a time when he can get his form back, really work towards getting into the World Cup squad. It hasn't really worked out for Sancho, but I tell you what, it's working out for Rashford. And we need more of it. Because I'll be honest, it's the thing that's been missing in the last 6 games. 5 clean sheets in our last 6 games. And there's a couple of frustrating draws in there. That's because our finishing hasn't been good enough. But that there from Rashford was fantastic. And I can see you all talking about the aggression overall. Yeah, man. The aggression in this team. And I will speak about Martinez in a bit. And I can't wait to do my... You know exactly what video I'm doing today. I've been waiting to do this video about Carragher. And it is coming today. But look, this is a big thing about Ten Hag that I enjoy. Is Ten Hag definitely doesn't get swept up in moments. I think that's it kind of applies to every facet of his management. I think that's how he's able to change games in game, by assessing, by seeing what's going on and not just getting swept up by what's going on around him. He's focused and he can see the whole picture. The same thing exists to how he looks at football games and United's performances. Sherman, let me know where you're watching from, buddy. We're still yet to see Pellistri. Yeah, we are, Jaden, but maybe Pellistri will come through. It's no problem at all. Because, look, Ten Hag, he said this after the game, we have a long way to go. There is a lot of room for improvement. We need to keep the process going and also learn from the wins. The second half could have done it. We could have done it better. We have to also be critical of ourselves. I'm happy, don't get me wrong, with the spirit and the defending, but when you keep the ball better, you have more control of the game. And that's exactly how I would define that second half and exactly how I would define this camera. I think this camera's just got a weird wire. Because if I now do that, I think I just need to buy a spot. Let me put this down on my list of things to do. Buy new camera wire. Buy new camera wire. There you go. Hopefully I can get this to stop from happening. It just seems like there's a bit of a weird power surge that comes through my camera. Odd. But yeah, Ten Hag is not somebody who gets swept up, and he's somebody who can change games, and he's somebody who keeps focus on the bigger picture, which for me, in my opinion, is something that I've always had as a fan. It's why I was excited about Rangnick. It's why I was excited about Ten Hag. And it's doing it again. Really, really weird. I apologize to everyone here. But now if I touch that and move that, that's going to be fixed and resolved. Right. Hopefully this camera doesn't turn off because I haven't got another camera to plug in. But I think someone down there is being Santa this morning. Let me go and quickly check this out. I think someone is. Jeez, someone's being mega Santa. Sarthak, you joined last week as a member. I remember you gifted 10 and now you've come in and gifted 20. You've gifted Robin Van Persie's down here. Wow. Everybody say thank you very much to Sarthak. What an absolute don. Amazing. I apologize about the video there. But look, let's read these names out. Ralph Terry, Albano Doko, Holiday, Unicorn Forever. Alaska, you've got one. Raj, Mohammed, Carter, Jamie Brown, Daryl Jones, Decimal, Adibite, Augustine, Keith, Benson, Paul Jones, Leo, Lebo, JP Meredith, CJ Wilson, Alan Graver, Hooligan X, Michael Gathukia, and Ross Townsend. Wow. Fantastic. Sarthak, you're an absolute don. Thank you very much. Everybody say thank you in the comments. Dubs all round indeed. What's this? Dude, this is a 4K camera. But when you're streaming live, you can't really. It's very, very difficult to get. Certainly in the way that I currently stream live, I can't get 4K on it. It says a 4K camera. Everything is plugged in normally. I think that wire just might be failing. So I'll be fixing that. But Ralph Terry's saying thank you very much down there. Indeed. Even the camera has gone to Newton Heath. Look at that. Green and gold indeed. But look, Ten Hag, as I said, he's really... Oh, man. Oh, actually, I forgot about putting that on the screen. Whoop. There we go. Get everything sorted this morning. He's the man. Pep Guardiola. I don't know whether Pep Guardiola was playing games this weekend. I think he was. You know what Pep's like. He's saying, look, it kind of feels like United are finally back. Not finally back as in, look, there you go, they're there, but as in finally back on the right path and heading in the right direction as a football club. Certainly on the pitch. Off the pitch, a lot to be desired. We know about that. But Ten Hag steering us. Piss off, you stupid camera. Right, this is definitely going to be a problem. Let me do that there. Really annoying. It's very, very annoying when technology fails you, isn't it? You work so hard to get everything perfectly right, and then technology fails you, and it's not your fault. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. I apologize. It's going to keep going off and on, but hopefully it doesn't really do it too much anymore. But Ten Hag, isn't he the man? He is absolutely the man. And I tell you what, speaking in the comments, speaking of the man, we've got Gungshi down here. Gungshi is the godfather of the channel. He really, really is. T down there, member for 16 months, original Don, proper OG. Jay Rajnikant, you've got one. Francis, Albert, Rude, Liam, Hafiz, Ankit, Fred, Sandeep. Honestly, everybody who joins, come involved, come be part of the community, everyone, man. This isn't just a free membership and you stay in here. Come join the Telegram. Come join the member zone of the Telegram. It's bigger, it's better. There's more to it than just this. But it is raining again. And so it should be raining today, I suppose, of all days. Like everyone's got that positive vibe about United at the moment. And they really, really should have. And I'll tell you what, remember the video I did at the start of October? I did my predictions for the 9 games because I said it was such a big month coming up. I want to run through my predictions. So I predicted that, well, it wasn't the hardest prediction in the world, was it? That City would beat United. Got that one right. I said that we'd beat Omonia 3-0. It was 3-2. Nearly spot on. I got the Everton game spot on. We won 2-1 there. So I got the first 3 games right. Next 3. I predicted that we would spank Nicosia 4-0. Wow, that was a 1-0 win. And then we started to get them wrong. I said we beat Newcastle 2-1. That was, of course, a 0-0 draw. I said that we draw against Spurs. I got that wrong. That was a 2-0 win. So technically, I kind of got... Actually, no, I still got wrong. Then I said that we would win away at Chelsea. I got that wrong. I said we beat Sheriff at home. And look, I forgot. I got the United West Ham prediction absolutely spot on. So if we go down here, what did Manchester United get? We got 1 defeat, 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, and a draw. So 3 defeats, a draw, and a loss. 4 wins. Sorry, a draw and a loss. 4 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. 6 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. In his hardest month so far. And I would argue that as the month went on, Manchester United got better and better. I think so anyway. I think we improved as the month went on to a certain degree. But to do that in what was the toughest month, I think is fantastic. And let me quickly pull up the Premier League table here before we move on to the next talking point, because there's so much we need to run through this morning. And I apologize. I might have got a little bit distracted or yeah, a little bit distracted by my camera being an absolute bitch. But fingers crossed it gets fixed. Gavin, you joined as well. Look at that. And T, you're spot on, man. We have got a game in hand on a couple of teams above us. Let's read the table here. This is how it currently lies after 12 games. So we are just shy of a third of the way through the season. This is what the Premier League table is looking like. Arsenal, I'm still convinced that Arsenal will be Arsenal. Saka looks like he might get injured. I imagine there's going to be people... if they're going to get a couple of injuries, they're really going to struggle. I think we will struggle with injuries as well. But look where we are. We're in 5th at the moment in time. We've got 23 points. We are 6 behind City after playing the same amount of games. We're ahead of Chelsea, Liverpool. You can hardly see them down there. And we've got a game in hand on Newcastle and Spurs. And you know who plays this weekend, right? Look at this. This is something that we did this weekend, right? That we haven't done for a long time. We took advantage of an opportunity. Liverpool lost and Chelsea lost. Therefore, it was an opportunity to gain 3 points on two teams who will be our rivals for the top four this year, and we did it. Look at the games that are coming up this weekend, right? This weekend is another massive opportunity for Manchester United. Let's have a look down here and you see exactly why. On Sunday, look at these fixtures. Chelsea are playing Arsenal. 12 o'clock on Sunday before we travel to Villa Park. And then look, 4:30, Spurs are playing Liverpool. This is another weekend where Manchester United can absolutely gain points on rivals. Given Arsenal's record at Chelsea, you would expect that to be a good game, but, you know, Arsenal looking good. Maybe they're going to win that one. Spurs against Liverpool, though, that's a really interesting game. Ideally, you're looking at a draw and a draw. Then we gain 2 points on every single one of our rivals if we beat Aston Villa. And that is a big if, because, of course, they got absolutely pumped at the weekend. But I think Unai Emery is going to be in for that game. Let's be completely honest. He's a very, very good manager. Aston Villa are lucky. They've traded in a Fiat for a Ford. Like a good Ford. Now, maybe it's a bit unfair to call Unai Emery a Ford. Anyway, Steven Gerrard's definitely a Fiat. Is he suspended for Villa? I didn't know that. Damn. Is Bruno suspended for Villa? That is a sucker punch. Damn it. People love to, people love to talk about the things that Bruno gets wrong. But who was the person who got the lovely 1-2 with Christian Eriksen in the build-up to the goal? Oh, it was Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is always sort of in and around. He might not be providing direct assist and direct goals, but he's always involved in a build-up. Damn. I didn't realise that Bruno was suspended. That is a tough one. Donny van de Beek's just come back from an injury. Off the top of my head, you would probably imagine that Christian Eriksen is pushed a little bit further forward and Fred comes in behind him. You would imagine. But you don't know. Let's have a look. A little bit later in the week, we might get another injury update on Donny van de Beek. On everybody else. I won't make an assessment on that yet. But let's dive in more into the game and the analysis from yesterday, because I tell you what, this bloke, man. This bloke here. I'm not sure. I'm almost running out of superlatives with Lisandro Martinez. He's been that good and that consistent for so long now. I've kind of already spoken about it, but it's so impressive. He really has been. I mean, without doubt, he's been Manchester United's player of the season. But also just everything he does. Absolutely everything he does. Sorry, I'm pulling something up here quickly so I can show you on the stream, as always. Should have got this prepared. I know. I'm shocking, aren't I? Sometimes I get things prepared. Sometimes I don't. But I'm going to show you something in a second. Let me pull this up there. Right. This guy here. He's down here. Look, Martinez is just awesome. Lisandro Martinez up there with 30 Vidic. Let's calm your boots. All right, calm your boots. Let's not go there yet. But he's just been absolutely outrageous. He really, really has been. Ray, you're saying, hi, Sam. It's good feeling now. We're grown as a team. And let's laugh. Man, let's all laugh at Liverpool. Let's all laugh at Liverpool. People are like, come on, Sam. What are you doing? Why are you laughing at Liverpool? It's like halfway through the season. You shouldn't be doing it.
We're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway.
A midstream Barry. It's been a long time since I had a midstream Barry. Sometimes he comes at the end. But there he is. Human, let me know where you're watching from. But yeah, Barry's here. Of course he is. Why not? When Liverpool lose at the weekend, you're damn right we're going to be speaking about it. But yesterday was just another performance where Lisandro Martinez was fantastic. He really was, in terms of, look, 100% of the ground duels won. 100% of his dribbles completed. And he brings the ball out. He plays like a ball-playing midfielder when he comes out with the ball, doesn't he? My God, that guy is so good with the ball at his feet. He really is so good with the ball at his feet. Winning his duels, winning his tackles, blocks, just clearance. Absolute all-round performance from Lisandro Martinez yesterday. And I tell you what, that's not the one. This is a banner that was made. It was actually given permission. So I think that the lads asked permission to put this flag in the TRA section in Old Trafford. And I think they were given permission. And then they realised what was on it. And then I think they took it away. Because that's a big old butcher cleaver. A big old butcher cleaver. It's a shame it was banned. But I tell you what a dude. What an absolute dude. And I've been teasing this for a long, long time. But now I can show you because I'm so excited to bring this out. This is my favorite design from the merchandise that's going to be launching. It's a front and back design with a little chest piece there with the Butcher of Manchester. And then the back piece is that design there. And it's definitely my favorite design that I'm going to be bringing out. This is another one there. Look, this one here is a cool one, actually. You might not be able to see it. This is the Holy Trinity. And if you can just see, you may well see 3 little birds. And it's my way of bringing in Amsterdam and Manchester together. 3 little birds above the Holy Trinity statue. I really like that. I think that's quite... I like something that you'll see throughout all the designs is there's a subtlety to quite a lot of them. It's something that I see as quite important. Something that I wanted to do. But that is... I can't wait to bring that out. I really, really can't. But Martinez, what an absolute don. And I tell you what's coming today. Enjoy the next 30 seconds of your life. That's all I'll say. Because I will. Actually, 38 seconds.
The other problem he's got straight away is the signing of Lisandro Martinez at the back. Now, we should never judge managers, players too early. But I'm convinced this can't work. Because he's the size of a 5'9" playing in a back four. Maybe he could go left back. Maybe he could play in a back three. But in the back four, he cannot play there in the Premier League.
He cannot play there in the Premier League. He cannot play there in the Premier League.
It's an act of lunacy, General Sir. Personally, I think you're a fucking idiot.
I tell you what, I've been waiting. It's what I mean. He went way too early with his assessment of the fact that Lisandro Martinez cannot play as a centre-back in the Premier League. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to do this video. And today, I'm doing it. I am doing it. And I'll tell you what, down here, I think Warren might have joined the gang this morning because it is... Warren, you are gifting 20 memberships as well. What an absolute don. All of you. Warren, Sarthak, Alex, you've gifted 10 as well. My God, it's absolutely raining. It's raining memberships. That's a terrible thing. I wish I never did that. But I can't actually read all the names out. There's so many. Thank you all very, very much. But as I said, I'll tell you what, let me pull this photo up as well. This photo made me absolutely laugh. Somebody sent this to me. I might put that on the thumbnail. Not quite sure, but I might put that on the thumbnail. I've been waiting to do that video. It really, you know, the thing I'm finding so odd and strange now is how little people are talking about Lisandro Martinez. He should be one of the talking points every single week. But it took a roundabout until the 63rd minute for Gary Neville to go, you know what? Martinez has been incredible. And quite a few of you have talked about it. It feels like, you know, when Alan Hansen said he can't win anything with kids. I absolutely hope that this situation here, where is it? That this situation here is going to be something that is used against Carragher for the whole time. So that's going to be coming out at lunchtime today. What you saw there was the intro of the video. I'm really going to be looking forward to it. I've been I've been sitting on that for a long time. Lucian, you were lucky enough down there to be gifted a membership by Alex. Something I will say here quickly. Let me try and put the link in the description. Look, everybody who's joined as a member, welcome aboard. I'd love to have you as part of the community. Now, anybody who's not a member, right? You're all welcome too, all of you. Join the community there. Anybody who is a member, go to the YouTube community tab. There is a different link for you. Click that one and you'll be able to join the members only group. Come in there. We'll have it. I always drop in there for conversations, X, Y, Z. Deji, you've been gifted 1, 2. Lots of you. If you want to see the video again, that video is coming out at lunchtime today. So make sure you be watching that, because I tell you what, I'm looking for. It's probably going to be one of my most enjoyable videos this season that I'm going to do. And I tell you what, right? We've waxed lyrical about Lisandro Martinez there, but I genuinely think that you could almost have an equal conversation about Diogo Dalot. I really do. The way he's been playing, and it's game on game, and he's building and building and building. I would probably say that West Ham game was probably his best, because of he was at the back post for like 3-4. Defensive positioning from him has been so spot on. And that's been, that was been the criticism of his game. The natural capabilities of Dalot seemed like he was an exciting defender going forward, but defensive positioning was all over the shop. He's been growing and improving and improving. And I think yesterday was probably the best of it so far. We can have a look down here, look at the stats. 5 ball recoveries, 5 clearances, 4 ground duels, 4 out of 4 long passes, 4 key passes, most in the team, 4 tackles won, 3 interceptions, most in the team, 2 crosses completed, most in the team, 1 is aerial duels, and completed all of his dribbles. That really, honestly, I almost think Diogo Dalot was man of the match yesterday. I said it was between Rashford, Martinez, and Dalot, but I think that game yesterday, was, as much as Rashford's finish was wonderful, it was about the team collective defensive performance, and Dalot was arguably the best in that. Kumran, you've joined as well. Let me know where you're watching from. John, I don't think we need to worry about. Dalot is definitely signing a new contract, undoubtedly. But the last thing we're going to be speaking about here is the fact that, well, not the last thing, before we move on to the main conversation of the video, David de Gea, right? I've just been saving the conversation until a little bit later. And I think you're right there. I know that. I think the catalyst for all this, the catalyst for change off the pitch has been Ten Hag. The catalyst for change on the pitch has been Martinez. He's like embodied. He does everything that Ten Hag wants. And everybody has to match that level or they're going to get booted out of the team. But speaking about Dalot, in my opinion, I think if you look at Manchester United's team, and if you were to say, hypothetically, of course, one injury that would probably impact the team the most, a lot of you would say Martinez, and I would agree with that. But I put Dalot right up there as well, because we have no right-back alternative. He started every single game this season. It is unsustainable. Dalot cannot start every game for United this season. There will come a point where we become unstuck because Dalot can't play and we haven't got an alternative. And I think this is what Erik ten Hag was getting at when he said this after the game. He said, I have to mention that Manchester United need 2 good fullbacks because we have a lot of games to play. And I'm worried about it. And I think Ten Hag is worried about it. And for me that's our manager now who's confident in the progress that he's making as a team, that he can now start exerting pressure on the board with public comments like that. That's him saying, look, sign me a right back. Now, we've spoken about Jeremy Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen. A couple of comments down there saying that Malacia can play a right back. Yes, he can, as an emergency right back. But Malacia is a left back. Wan-Bissaka, he's a ghost. Wan-Bissaka will be sold. Malacia is not the option at right back. No, let's not go there. I know he technically can play there, but he is a left back, right? We need another right back. Unequivocally, we need another right back. Now, and you're mentioning Ethan Laird down there in the comments, which I think is quite an interesting one. I've not heard anything about his loan spell being cut short. QPR are chasing promotion. He's playing well there. I imagine he'd stay there. It's a bit, I mean, timing is everything in football, really. because it's going to be unlucky for Ethan Laird, massively unlucky, if we sign a new right back and then he won't get that opportunity to come in. Maybe that will be the case. Maybe. But we certainly need another right back. Because as soon as Dalot goes out of that team, I don't think you realise how integral Dalot's making himself. He's involved in everything defensively. He's involved in quite a lot of it going forward too. Positionally, he's taking up the right spots. He's inverting as a fullback. He's helping the overloads. He really is an important player. And I worry about what Manchester United are going to do if he gets injured. Because I think there's going to be a big drop-off in the team. Any right backs in the youth squad? Ethan Laird, of course, is, if you're looking at the outstanding choice from our academy to come through, it's Ethan Laird, who's on loan right now at QPR. He pressed a couple of times. He was a bit on and off in pre-season. But I know we need a striker. I mean, you don't need to tell me that. I've been, well, I can, yeah, you're right. You really don't need to tell me that. Brandon Williams. Guys, Brandon Williams, fine. Brandon Williams isn't going to be at Manchester United in the long term. I don't think so anyway. He's been injured for quite a bit. Maybe he'll come through. Maybe he'll, I don't think he will. I think Brandon Williams at some point over the next 12 to 18 months will be loaned or sold. The same goes for Axel Tuanzebe. And it is what it is. I think Tuanzebe especially was so unfortunate with injuries and the timing of injuries. But something I have to say about the performance yesterday as well, and you know, so many of you, here's a quick lesson for you. I don't mean this in a patronizing way. So many of you try, well, not so many of you, some of you try to accuse me of an agenda against Ronaldo. Let me explain to you what an agenda is and proof that I don't have them. Because if there's anybody I'm going to have an agenda against, it's Harry Maguire. I did, what, 3-4 videos last year. Starting off, just we needed to talk about Maguire, but then just progressively got worse and worse and worse and worse. And I just lost it with him completely. Maguire yesterday in that first half, I said this. I said, look, I have not missed it. Harry Maguire in that first half looked like Harry Maguire last season, didn't he? Just overcommitting. He's so good. I don't know why he does it. Considering his pace is his biggest weakness, you would imagine that Maguire would back off a little bit, but maybe he knows that if he doesn't go aggressive on a man and beat him earlier up the pitch, higher up the pitch, he won't have the pace to get space in behind, blah, blah, blah. Right? Maguire was crap in that first half. I think Maguire was pretty damn good in that second half. And this is what I mean about agendas. If I had an agenda against Harry Maguire, I would not be able to come on here this morning and praise the elements of his second half performance. If I had an agenda on Harry Maguire, I would only focus on that first half and ignore anything good that happened in that second half. I think he definitely improved in that second half, and in United, but United sat deep. I don't want United to be playing like we played in that second half. I want United to be playing like we have been in the first half. We look at the weaknesses of Maguire. The build-up was so slow and cumbersome on the right-hand side with him and Elanga that we just had no threat on the right, and it was all going down the left. I still don't think that Harry Maguire could or should be starting for Manchester United. But at that time there, when it was backs against the wall and we needed, Maguire played well. Right? So I think you have to credit that second half performance. Like Erik Ten Hag did here. He said he was magnificent in protecting the box. I think he was. Certainly with that block right towards the end. But still, my opinion remains on Harry Maguire, the fact that I don't think he can play in Ten Hag's system with a higher line, with the aggression and the confidence he can cover the space in behind. And I saw that in the first half. And it was a different sort of performance in that second half. Good, but I'm still not convinced in any way, shape or form. And I'll tell you what, look at that for a segue. We're convinced. Let's speak about David de Gea, the headline from the show. And it is, I think, how Ten Hag deals with David de Gea is going to be one of those decisions that really gets remembered a couple of years down the line. You know, like the early decisions that a manager takes at a football club. I think how Ten Hag handles this De Gea situation is going to be such a significant and important moment. Now, my gut is telling me, kind of still is, that De Gea, if Manchester United give him a contract extension, it'll be on reduced wages. I think the idea that somebody else will come in, someone like Diogo Costa, it still feels like it makes more sense. But De Gea was fantastic yesterday, as was basically the whole defence in that second half. And we saw the best of him, I suppose, in terms of his shot stopping. And De Gea was absolutely praised by Ten Hag. And this is what Ten Hag said. He said, I'm convinced that De Gea can do it, passing out from the back. And I think the game so far proved that. I think he will improve from game to game in that part. And I'll be completely honest, over the course of October in particular, I think we've seen more of that from De Gea. I think it's been coming slowly. It should be coming a little bit better. But De Gea has been progressively getting better at playing out from the back with the ball as the month has gone on. I think so anyway. And this is what else Ten Hag said about him. He goes, on the feet, for me, he has the capabilities as well. This season, he is progressing from game to game. It has to do not only with the keeper. This is a big part of it. Not only with the keeper, but it has to do with the one in front. How do you give the keeper options to bring passes in? And I believe that's where, in that first half, you saw Maguire and De Gea gesturing to each other. Every time Maguire had the ball, not every time, but I would say like 80% of the time, he turned and gave it back to Martinez. And Martinez was like, well, fucking hell, I'll bring it forward then. And his options were blocked off. And then he gave it back to Maguire, and he's like, nah, you can have it back. Maguire didn't take on enough responsibility, but it is definitely down to the players that he's got in front of him and also to Casemiro. It's amazing what happens when you got a defensive midfielder. We've kept 5 clean sheets in 6 games. And Casemiro has been not literally a central part of that, but he has been so crucial. Do you think that De Gea can become that goalkeeper that Ten Hag wants him to be, that we need him to be? Our own Edison or Alisson? Because as I always say, I remember De Gea's distribution back in 2011 being so much better than it is now. He's grown up in Spanish football, in the Spanish academy. He knows how to play with the ball at his feet. It's not a foreign language to him. It's almost got coached out of him. Do you think it can come? You can let me know in the comments below. Without the media bias, those were 2 world-class saves to end off, but I don't see him getting more than a 1-year extension at most. I mean, I don't imagine he would sign a 1-year contract extension. And I don't know what the club's going to do. It's a very tricky position. It really is a tricky position. Let me go down here and read a few of your comments out. I love when De Gea came. Yeah, look, seeing De Gea running out of his box, covering that space, that's what you want your goalkeeper to be able to do. Casemiro has been a lot of help. Absolutely, he has been. Tyler, you're saying, look, I believe we should keep De Gea until we get a new keeper and is comfortable playing, like when Sir Alex did with with De Gea coming in. Needs to be better at saving penalties. Don't talk about penalties with De Gea. Gives me, makes me feel horrible. Very telling when Casemiro was dropping back to pick the ball up as Harry was a rabbit in the headlights. I think he was. Which again, I've seen Harry Maguire be far better than that at Leicester when he was bringing the ball out from the back. But it's weird. Rashik, you're saying he's improved a lot. I don't know why we're even talking about. I mean, dude, if you don't know why we're talking about De Gea, then you haven't been watching United for a while. De Gea's lack of ability or lack of desire, lack of whatever you want to pinpoint it as, in playing out from the back has been a fundamental weakness of this team for a long time. And it is a fundamental weakness of this team currently under Ten Hag. He needs a goalkeeper to be able to play like a ball-playing centre-back, like Martinez. That's what Ten Hag wants in De Gea. Tell me which available keeper makes it. Yeah, it is a keeper's job first and foremost. Yes, it is. In the same way, it's a defender's job first and foremost. But ultimately, in the modern game, to be world-class, to be at the top level and elite, you need to be able to do your job and then some. A fullback has to be able to defend properly and add to crosses. A centre-back has to be able to be a powerful central defender and play out from the back with the ball. A goalkeeper has to be able to make world-class saves and be confident with the ball at his feet. That's just the way that modern football has gone. The footballers just have to be better. They have to. We still need to see his passing under pressure from players like Haaland. What else are we saying down here? De Gea's coaches after Fergie have reduced his... Yeah, it seems... I don't know whether it's a confidence thing. I don't know whether it's the players that are playing in front of him. But I think De Gea is improving. And as I said, I think it's a very interesting time coming up. Whether Ten Hag decides to go, you know what? I trust De Gea. And by the sounds of it here, he absolutely does think that you can trust him. Everyone has their own opinion, and his opinion, his own philosophy. For me, from a goalkeeper, is you have to protect the goal. So make sure you don't concede goals. And in that fact, he is magnificent. Exactly what Jonathan said down there. A goalkeeper's job, first and foremost, is to not concede goals. And that's where De Gea has always been one of the best in the world when it comes to shot stopping. He really is. And that's not really changed. Because it's not true. Well, that was a nice, simple, easy one. There we go. Diogo Costa is a good keeper, but De Gea's distribution was pretty poor last night. I'll be honest, I think everybody's distribution was pretty poor last night. United weren't able to play out from the back with the ball. They weren't. Shaw should get a shout-out too. Yeah, I gave Shaw a lot of shout-outs yesterday in that match reaction. Shaw, fantastic this season. How he's come back from that. Malacia took his spot. We had 4 wins and a bounce. Then Malacia had a couple of wobblers. Taken off, I think it was a half-time against Everton and Omonia. Shaw's been in ever since. Competition. It really drives the most out of him. Really, really drives the most. I don't know how. Seems like every single year we need to buy somebody else to bring the best out of David de Gea. Look, I really don't know what's going to happen with this man. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't put money on any outcome. Think he can. I think he leaves on a free this summer. I don't think United will let that happen. But I also don't think that United will give David de Gea a 3, 4, 5-year contract extension on the wages he's currently on. So there's going to have to be some sort of compromise somewhere. Is that on a contract that's for 2 to 3 years? Is that on reduced terms? Is it both of them? Honestly, I'm not really sure how it works out with David de Gea. But the way that Ten Hag is speaking about De Gea here, using that word convinced, he is convinced that De Gea can play out from the back with a ball. I think Ten Hag's convinced in his own ability to get De Gea playing like Ederson is, like Alisson is, and for him to stay at the club. It feels like that's what Ten Hag is going towards. Now, let's find out whether that's going to be the case or not, but that's really what it feels like. Kumaran, you're down there. You're gifting 5 memberships as well. What a don. Who are the lucky 5 here? Pingting, Carl Bell, Golyuski, Denver F, and Mario Meske. You are the 5 lucky ladies and gents. So make sure you join the community on the Telegram. Make sure you do it. Stephen, I absolutely love that. Argentina. It's a 2.5. 2 years with reduced salary down here. I don't know. My gut tells me that United need a different goalkeeper in the long term to succeed in the style that Ten Hag wants. But maybe Ten Hag's being realistic about the money he's going to have. Maybe he's being confident in his own coaching ability. And hell, who's to say he can... Who would have thought that man right there... Who would have thought that Dalot would be the player that he is today? But that's because of Ten Hag and his coaching. And also because of this man over here. I think Martinez has been a big part of that. But Ten Hag has undoubtedly improved a lot of players. And he is, as I said, he's convinced. He used that word convinced. And that's, I think, quite a telling word to use. He's convinced that De Gea can be that goalkeeper that he wants him to be. So I think Ten Hag's going to really go all out to try to make that work. I think that's what we're seeing now. For me, I'm not that my opinion has changed, but my instinct has changed as to what I think Ten Hag is aiming for now. Let me go down here and read a few of your comments out here. We now have a centre forward and a right back. That's what I mean, man. Maybe this is Ten Hag just being realistic as a football manager, going, look, you know, it would be easier for me to go and sign a ball-playing set goalkeeper. I mean, it would be. But he realizes that That's not the biggest priority and the biggest weakness in his team. He needs a centre forward. First and foremost, he needs a centre forward. Secondly, and this is kind of up for debate, but we need a centre forward, another ball-playing central midfielder, a right back, and a goalkeeper. How you want to put those 4 signings, in whatever order, I don't know. But in my opinion, they are the 4 fundamental weaknesses in terms of this squad, and arguably starting 11 as well, in certain positions. Centre forward, creative midfielder, right back, and a goalkeeper. How old was Van der Sar? Mate, Van der Sar didn't join United until he was what? 36? 36 or 37? Don't know. I mean, Edison's not crap at shot stopping. He's not. Let's not be crazy. He's a good goalkeeper. It's just not the greatest strength of his game. But yeah, man, I really don't know what's going to go on with David de Gea. Something I've got to speak about here for the performance yesterday, Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford was absolutely fantastic with that finish. 100 goals, man. Yesterday marked 85 years. 85 years that Manchester United have had an academy product inside our matchday squad. Consecutive squads every game for 85 years without break. Honestly, that's got to be the thing that we should all be most proud of as United fans. That is the fundamental core of our club, the academy. And Rashford showed me yesterday there is more to his game than I thought there was. I never in a million years thought that those sorts of headers were part of his game. Even when Ronaldo's on the pitch, even when Ronaldo's not the story, he's the story. Because that was a proper Ronaldo-type header, wasn't it? Just the power, the jump, the aggression. Oh, the leap. Fair play to him, man. Rashford came up to 100 goals for Manchester United yesterday, and here's to 100 more. Nicholas, you're saying Jose Mourinho said Dalot would be one of the best. Yeah, okay. Well, Mourinho didn't really make Dalot one of the best. Ten Hag is the coach who is bringing the most out of him. So I'm not going to be pointing towards Jose Mourinho and giving him a high five and a slap on the arse. I'm pointing towards Ten Hag and his coaching. Dalot obviously was identified as a right talent coming in. But yeah, this is down to Ten Hag. What we're saying down here. If you were given a blank check, Sam, who would you sign to fill the right centre forward, right back? Well, I can't say that now off the top of my head. I had to really, really think about it. But I don't think we're going to get a blank check anymore. After the summer we had last summer, unless we get new owners in, the purse strings will be tight, man. Cindy is saying, can we not just recall Ethan from loan? We could. We absolutely could. And we should. I imagine we had that clause in that contract that we can do it. But why would Ethan Laird do it? You're Ethan Laird. You're playing every week in the Championship in a promotion-chasing team. I don't know if he's playing every week, actually. You're playing every week in a promotion-chasing team. You get a call from Manchester United, from Ten Hag, saying, Ethan, how you doing, buddy? Do you want to come back to Manchester United and sit on the bench every week until Diogo Dalot is injured? And then you can get a chance. I might play you in an FA Cup game or a League Cup game, but every Premier League game, Dalot's going to start. If you're Ethan Laird, you're not going to do that at that point in your career. I know that it would suit the club, but realistically, it's just not going to happen. The timing doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I don't think so anyway. So I'd be surprised if Ethan Laird wanted to do that. Of course, United could do it anyway, but you don't want to have a player at the club who's unhappy. See what else you're saying down here in the comments. Obviously, been work, mate. Benny McCarthy, maybe just a little bit of training, practice with him. I hope so. Yeah, he does look happy. And I'll tell you what, Rashford spoke about it after the game yesterday. He said, you know what, last season, I wasn't in the right headspace a lot of the time. And I think the atmosphere inside Manchester United was draining energy out of these players. And we're witnessing now what happens when you have that positive vibe. Positive energy, man. If you don't have enough positive energy in your life, get some in your life. It's like endorphins. It's good. It's like going exercise. That's why exercise for me is so important. Releases tons of endorphins that you don't. The weird thing about exercise is when you do it, you have more energy. By expending energy, you gain more energy. You feel more awake, more alive, more ready to do things. Rashford is obviously in a far better place mentally than he was last year. And I think I've always said this, players are symptomatic of the clubs they are in. And right now, you're seeing so many players who looked down and out last year looking like players reborn because things are changing with the club. And they are, therefore, starting to sort of play with their shoulders back, starting to walk with a bit of swagger. I mean, let's be honest, Ferdinand, you haven't seen any of Benny's coaching. So you have no idea what Benny McCarthy's doing behind the scenes. We have no idea what any of our coaches are doing behind the scenes. We can only judge by what we're seeing on the pitch. Let me read a few more of your comments out here. Every little thing. Yeah, man, I really like this design. I think it's really subtle. And I hope people enjoy it. The merchandise, I've still got quite a lot of work. I want to launch this week, right? But I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to try and see what I can do. But it's going to come at some point in early November. It really, really will. And then this video, remember, I'm going to say this one more time before we wrap up today. If this doesn't deserve a like on this video and for you to come back at lunchtime, nothing will, because this video is coming out at lunch today.
The other problem he's got straight away is the signing of Lisandro Martinez at the back. Now, we should never judge managers, players too early. But I'm convinced this can't work. Because he's the size of a 5'9" playing in a back four. Maybe he could go left back. Maybe he could play in a back three. But in a back four, he cannot play there in the Premier League.
He cannot play there in the Premier League. He cannot play there in the Premier League.
It's an act of lunacy, General Shah. Personally, I think you're a fucking idiot.
I got that song in my head. I had that in my head last night when I was making the video. But look, I'm going to wrap this up for today. It's been a really, really good October for Manchester United. 6 wins, 2 draws, 1 defeat. We're looking good in the Prem. As a team, we are playing really well, even when we're playing badly. Like I would say we played badly as a team in the second half yesterday. We still came out on top because our defence held strong. Martinez, he's a captain without the armband. The butcher of Manchester, indeed. I can't wait to release this. I'm sorry if you think I'm overplugging it, but I've been working on this for so long. Really have been so long. But look, thank you all for tuning in. Alex, to Kumran, to Gungshi, to Saranth, I think it was. No, Saranth. Everybody who gifted memberships today. There were so many gifts given out. Everybody, say thank you for your gifts. Please, if you would, join the community. Come across to the Telegram. And the merch is coming soon, and all of you get a discount. All members get a big discount on the merch. So look, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you check that video out today because it's going to be a scorcher. But yeah, up the Reds, man. And Martinez. All of them. Every single one of them.